What's up, everybody? It's us, Rico and Courtney Gonzalez, and today we have a special guest. Go ahead, babe.
Hi there, guys. We have Craig Houston with us today. Say hey, Craig.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all?
Craig is a new agent to the office, and he is also was the rookie of the year. He came in
Rookie
here
of the
guns
year.
blazing, turning heads left and right. Some of our seasoned agents were like, "What are you doing?" Anyway, so we are excited to kind of pick his brain today and find out how he's been able to come into this green and rock and roll and make some real green. I mean,
That's the mission. That's the mission. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was kind.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Craig, this is what, your first or second year in real estate?
This is November will be. Oh, let's see. I got licensed in 2023. So November 2023, I got licensed. So November 2025 would be 2 years.
Oh, wow. It's coming
okay.
up. It's
Still a
coming up.
baby.
Yes.
I know, right?
It's a learning curve, isn't it?
It's a huge learning curve. Every day is a new mission and new enjoyment and a new goal and new test every day.
Well, Courtney and I are super proud of you, man. We've seen you grow. We've seen you like knock it out the park with some of these deals you're cashing in on, and we're real proud of you. And oh man, first year in real estate, I remember that. Remember that, Court?
I do.
We didn't know what the heck we was doing.
I still don't some days. I got good people to help, you know what I mean? Like y'all, they help me through some things, but you don't know everything. And I think that's why it's important to have a good team around you. That way you can not have fear to bounce questions off of individuals that help you out to make sure that you go on the right path.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
That's honestly what I love so much about Atcoastal Realty is I interviewed with 11 different firms before I chose where I was going to hang my license, which is crazy. I mean, most people go to one or two and they're like, all right, here we are. But I feel like the support system that Atcoastal provides and the brokers are just so approachable, and there is no doubt or question or fear if you had a question to be able to come up to anybody with any lick of experience and then be like super helpful, which is a great culture to have. Not every firm has that.
Yeah, that's true. I think I interviewed 7 brokers before I came in, and Atcoastal was the second. I think it was the second. But I think out of all the ones I talked to, I felt like everyone had their pluses and their minuses. But I think, like you said, just to come into Atcoastal and seeing how everything was playing out, it just made sense. And I mean, my background is been in the military and then retiring, from that. So doing one job for so long period of time, I'm one of those people. I don't want to switch jobs often.
Yeah.
So I have to find the right fit, and that right fit has to be because I'm kind of a loyal person to that company or what am I going to be doing? And even though it's my business, the people that you surround yourself with, who you're going to have loyalty with. So you want to make sure you find the right company.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, the reason why we're doing this podcast, because so many people are asking Courtney and I, hey, we want to be realtors all of a sudden, right? Because Craig, we make it look easy on social media, right?
It's funny that you say that. Like, I think since I've retired and done this, I've had 4 people reach out to me and say, yo, I'm thinking about getting into real estate. What do you think? And I'm like, wow, okay, good luck.
Yeah.
Because you have to be a little bit slightly. I tell people you got to be slightly crazy to do this job.
Just a little bit. Just
slightly, because it's an insane job to have. It's a satisfying job to have, but it's also an insane job to have on certain days of the week.
Yeah. Real estate is a roller coaster. I mean, some days in the same day, you can have all those emotions, like super excitement, total fear, all the things. It's like,
you about to cry, right? You about to cry because you lost something, and then you get a ding, and you're like, it's crazy, boy. This happens. You know it's happening to you too.
Oh, it happens all the time. Like, it's not. I mean, to me, I think it's kind of weird because, like, I don't know. Ever since I like really got to being proactive and being in it, I mean, I got licensed in November, but I didn't really start until that May of being April, and again very serious and moving into the business like that. And ever since then, I'm still trying to figure out what in the world is going on some days. Like, Man.
Well, we always encourage these people when they ask us, "Hey, what do I got to do?" I tell them what to do. And the first step is to get that license, and then we could rock. We could rock with it, and we'll show you the ropes and everything. But as long as they get that license, I know that they're at least capable of doing something.
Yeah, I think the licensing teaches you if you really want to do this job, because realistically, they don't teach you how to sell real estate. They just teach you not how to get locked up.
Exactly.
Yeah. They don't teach for those who think that it's no sales class. This is just like literally, hey, make sure that you can, one, get a license, and then two, keep your license. And then after that, is everything else is on you. So
yeah.
Right. I don't think the licensing, like the class and the license, is not an easy bit. Like it's a ton of information in a short period of time. And honestly, if you can't cut the school, you can't cut this as a career, because it's going to take time and actual like dedication to make sure you know this information, because it's not all common sense, and it's a lot. So if you can't get through the class, just, pack it up, because it's a lot, and this business requires a lot of you as well.
Yep. And that's a challenge to you guys out there. It's not all, like the Netflix show Selling Sunset or $1 Million Listing and all that stuff where it's a bunch of drama. It could be, but it's not like that at all. It definitely has its rewards as well, right?
Definitely. It does have its rewards. I mean, it just depends on what you're getting into real estate for. I think that's the main thing that a lot of people have to determine when they're saying they want to pursue this career, because if you're in it for the wrong reasons, you're more likely going to feel like it sucks. And then if it sucks, you're not going to be able to turn out the great output that you possibly can, achieve. And you're not going to be able to service people. And people are going to be able to tell that you have that ickiness about you really are in it for the wrong particular reasons. And it shows. So you definitely got to know what you're in it for, and then go after those attainable goals inside of that lane that you're in.
I love it. Well, let's get this thing started. Just wanted to chit chat for a bit. Craig, tell us why real estate, maybe give some background and how you got in, that type of thing.
So let's start there, I guess, since you bring it up. I literally thought about doing real estate for like the last 10 years, like, believe it or not. And I think I was in Maryland. I was for those who don't know, I was in the Navy. So I just literally was like at my 10-year mark, and I was considering what was I going to do now that I knew I was like halfway through my career. And I was like, well, maybe I could sell houses. And I had like this fascination with it. And people were like, that's crazy. That's like the first question every broker asks you too. Why are you in real estate? Like, and people are like, oh, well, I think I just like houses. And it's not. It's not. I mean, I think I just had a thing for talking to people and understanding what people are coming from. Like, I really had like this big overhaul in life, I think, at one point, where I just realized that I wanted to be financially free. And I never wanted no one to tell me how much income I can make ever again. Like, so that was like the main thing in my life. So, and I felt like, what was the barrier? How many barriers of entry do I have? I was too far behind to being a doctor. I might have been too far behind to being a lawyer. And realistically, it was going to come in sales, and I wasn't going to sell insurance. So I just knew I was going to be in real estate. So that's how I got into it. That was my mindset. And then, so when I got closer to retiring, I just said, during the pandemic, I saw. Okay, so before I say that, so during the pandemic, I ran a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel was all about helping people learn how to save and invest and be financially free. So it started as a podcast, and it turned into a YouTube channel. And then I got so far deep into the weeds of it that I felt like I had like a moment of imposter syndrome. So I'm telling y'all this for the first time. I don't think I've told anyone this. So I think I had like a moment. Yeah, I think I had a moment of imposter syndrome, because it was like, when I got out of the Navy, I was like, how is this business going to grow? How is this YouTube channel going to grow? It was doing well, but I was like, how is it going to grow? And I was like, well, people would start like, are you an accountant? Do you have a degree? And do you have a degree in business? Do you have like a financial background that you can rely on? What are you going to stand at? And I was like, well, the lowest entry is into real estate. So that it came up again. So I was like, if I'm going to do that bigger goal that I have in life of helping people service them lives, I thought, and start at the bottom, show that I could do it, have some type of credibility, and
Looks like we lost him. We lost him, Court.
That's right. So that's how I
There
had.
he is. He's back.
So that's how I ended up with that goal. So when I decided that was going to be the way I went, then I decided just to jump on in during the pandemic. I got my license we was coming out of the end of the pandemic. I got my license, and here we are today.
All right.
Awesome. What a story. Hey, that YouTube channel, you still have it?
So I do have the YouTube channel, but I overhauled it from what it was into what it is now, which is called the Moving in Norfolk channel. I basically kept all the subscribers and turned it over into basically like a neighborhood tour guide channel, where basically you'll see neighborhood tours around the city, around Hampton Roads, where I basically go into the communities, kind of do like a vlog series, talk about those communities and give you insights into them and the lay of the land, basically.
That's one thing that I think your business grew so quickly because you went after it social media wise, doing these videos. And I know it was a lot of work. It was a lot of time consuming work, editing, shooting the film, getting the right lighting and all that stuff, but it paid off for sure, man. That's like a lot of people out there, they're not doing stuff like what you're doing. So
yeah, it is a niche market, very niche. I think that it is an undervalued market. And I think realistically, I honestly, I don't think I've even captured it the way that I want to capture it. And I'm really, thinking about that going forward strategically, how to, capitalize on that market, because I do think there's a need for, I think no matter what city you're in, regardless of what agent is listening to this or a future agent listening to this in the future, where no matter where you're at, that is a need, because no one knows the city that that they're prospectively going to move to or already live in, and don't really know the lay of the land when it comes to purchasing homes in certain neighborhoods. And people have multitude of questions about it. And if you can answer those questions for them, or you can find them and meet them at the right direction and place that they're in, you should be able to be that person they'll want to reach out to.
Right. You've put on the hat of thinking of that buyer or that seller. Like, you're 100% putting yourself in their position, and then you're going after it from a marketing standpoint and using your gifts, talents, and abilities that you've already had and been able to put that into the social media, the YouTube, and really speak to buyers. And then with having the military background and having to move probably once or twice in your life, you kind of know what they're thinking. And I think that's so valuable, because the average agent that gets into this business is thinking of themselves 100%. And they're like, okay, how do I get? And what you were doing is you came in and started giving. And I think that's huge. You were giving value to buyers, and that what you did and how you did it is just been very successful. So I think people should take heed.
I appreciate that. And it's really, realistically, it's one of those things that, it's a big deal for people it's a stress reliever in certain cases, when you can know that you can pick the phone up, or you can at least pick your tablet up and just look on YouTube and see that someone is actually trying to do lead work for you to see where you can go in the future. It's so crazy. I wish we would have had this like 20 years ago, but that it is here now. It is something that is a future capitalization that's still out there for a lot of people.
Awesome.
For sure. So coming in, what were your expectations? Did you think that you're going to get handed leads? Did you think it was going to be easy, hard? And also, part two of that question, what did you find out?
So I looked at, this, I guess the trend is going to continue in this conversation. I looked at YouTube before I even decided on, before I even got my license. I was in school, and then days that I ain't have nothing going on, I would just look at YouTube and listen to all these creators talk about how real estate really is, what could you really expect from it. And it did even how to interview your broker. Don't let your broker interview you. Like things to this. I did all those things and took all those to account. So I kind of think I came in it clear-headed that you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to generate your own business. And if you are dependent on people to bring you leads, depend on not having a good check.
Oh, I love it.
Very good.
Yeah, so I think those are the things that I understood right out the gate. And then it's also, you have to kind of know, you got to know who you are, I think, as a person too. So that kind of made a little bit of a self-reflection for me, where you have to understand what lane are you in, and is that lane, do you have to veer off that lane, or can you stay in that lane and capitalize off that lane? A lot of people don't realize that the relationships that they build prior to coming into a business like real estate, you gotta be able to, cultivate those relationships into business.
Yeah.
And a lot of times your friends and your family don't want to give you business because they don't believe in you yet. You haven't even shown them that you can do it. Right. So I came into it so basically to answer your question in long ways, with a long answer is I had no expectation. I knew I had to come in and just build a platform for myself and show people that I can do it. And then I know eventually when I start showing people I can do it, they will start looking for me and saying, wow, you really are doing this. How are you doing this? You are doing like you're so busy. You've got so much stuff going on. And those things are now starting to take traction on their own. But I didn't come into it with no expectation for the first year.
Gotcha. I think based on some of the conversations we've had with people that ask us about this as a career path, is a lot of people are thinking that they're going to have an extremely flexible schedule and that they could just do whatever, whenever, and, come make some money and then leave and go on vacation. And I've seen agents, they collect a check and they go on vacation, but they don't collect checks often. So anyways,
I think that is true though. I do think a lot of people think that, but I also, so to the person who's listening to this, thinking about getting into real estate, I want you to think about, like, when do you think you can call people, or when do you think you can meet people, or when do you think you can have a conversation with people about buying a house? And I mean, realistically, if you look at the stats, I want to say it's like every year you're talking about across the United States, it's probably only about 1.5% of the population are looking at buying houses. It's not a huge number, but right. So now you take that number and then say, put that in your city or whatever community that you're going to serve, and that number is going to dwindle down even more. And you got to go and try to compete with other people in your community to get the sale. So this is why I say this is a little bit of a definition of insanity for real, because you have to be insane to go after people in a market where everybody basically knows 20 people who can sell houses.
Exactly. Yeah. I was talking to somebody, Rico and I met with a girl that I used to work with in the insurance business, and she's considering coming into this as a career. And she was kind of asking us, what should she expect and all that good stuff. And I forgot the point why I was bringing her up, but it's basically, this is why, because she knows many realtors. We all know realtors. Everybody knows a realtor, right? But it's like, who stands out when you think of real estate or a realtor? Like there should be like certain people that are like instant standouts. And thankfully, Rico and I were a standout to her because we're constantly top of mind. And Craig, I know you do a lot with social media and advertising and YouTube. And I think they don't understand that you're not just joining somebody's coattails in a firm so that you can get fed leads and business and things to do. This is not selling Sunset. We're selling Portsmouth and Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads here. So you're literally your own boss, and you create your own business, and you're responsible for marketing. You're responsible for cultivating leads. You're responsible for paying for leads. You're responsible for paying for your marketing. You're responsible for cold calls. You're responsible for open houses. You're responsible for all these things on your own. So I feel like every day has to count. That's how I felt when I got in. I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I don't have a job. I don't have a job anymore. So like, this has to work. So I had to do something every day. I had to put my hand to the plow, throw the mud on the wall, and just do a little bit of something every single day. For you, what would you say would be some of the things that you made like a conscious effort to do regularly as far as like the actual work of the business?
So it started with just doing reading. Believe it or not, I just read. Like when I didn't have no business, I was spending time reading. And I pray people like, what do you mean? So I basically, when I was starting the YouTube channel, I basically decided that I needed to know everything about every city. So I was like, and all this stuff is public information. So you just go on the city website, you pull down like they planning commission notes and stuff like this. And I would be reading information and digesting it for ages, like just highlighting stuff so I can know it. So when I go out and do the videos, I will be able to speak candidly about not only what's going on in the present, but how the future kind of look for that city and talk about that from a perspective. And that's before I got busy. Then when you get busy, you don't have time to do you don't have time for those things. So then that kind of like changed a bit. So I had to learn that you had to do things do activities every day to equal to the bigger goal at the end of the day. So what I mean by that is, like, if you're a cold caller, you have to call people. If you can't call people at your designated time during the day, you need to make a designated time during the day where you can call people, because if you don't make these phone calls, your pipeline is going to run dry. And then not looking at, I kind of got to a point where I didn't look at future. I didn't look at present business. I looked at future business. And then present business will find you, and it will lead you and guide you to your future business together. So when you can bridge those gaps, that's what you really want to work at. So I don't look at, hey, do you want to buy a house today, or do you want to sell a house today? If you don't, I don't got no need for you. If you say you want to, cool. Let's come up with a plan. Let's stay in contact, and then we'll work our way to a bridge of a gap where your demand shows up. So you got to be able to kind of like do the small activities and figure out what makes sense for you, and then kind of like schedule it out. You gotta. This is not a W-2 job.
It's not.
And people who are accustomed to waking up at 7 o'clock, going to work at 9, staying there to 5 or 6, depends on if you're working a 10-hour shift or whatever, and you think that's going to come. That's not going to come, because people do not buy houses every day. I take that back. People buy houses every day. There's always going to be a real estate transaction every day, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be the one making that transaction every day. So, you got to kind of look at it like that you got to work to get yours in as well.
I love it. This thing called real estate is a grind, and people that come in because they want the flexible schedule, you could make it flexible. You still got to wake up at 7 and you still close at 5, sometimes 9. But I think if you do some time blocking, know when you're going to make phone calls, know when to grind, know when to hustle, know when to show the properties, know when to do your social media, people will do fine in this business if they have that, if they could put it together that way. That makes sense.
That does make sense. It makes sense to me. It just means that you got, like I say, it always comes back down to who you as a person. Like, you got to know who your people are. You got to know who your tribe is. You got to know who you're going to have a better relationship with, and how you can communicate. Like, I mean, because some people will try you, and some people will make you feel like you don't know what you're doing, but you really do, and you can't control it. It's a symbiotic relationship for 60 days. That's why I tell people, when you get a new client, you're married to them for 60 days. All right.
Yeah.
So if you're in a very strong relationship for 60 days that you may not like, you may not deal with some things that you're going to learn about that person. You may become a counselor. You may become their therapist. You may become their boyfriend, their significant other, whatever. It could be a whole bunch of stuff until you can get them into a house. So be prepared. It's not just wearing one hat. You're wearing multitude of hats to get someone into a house or to sell their house at that.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you ever found yourself having to show a buyer like more than a handful of houses?
I think I've shown one. I'm trying to think. I feel like this is a yes answer. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of who the person could have been, so I can kind of detail that a bit. I feel like I have shown maybe one time 15 to 20 houses.
Yeah.
But I think this would have been over a month period of time though. And
man, you're hustling.
Yeah, it look. Sometimes you got to go get these dollars. Like,
got to, man. Somebody else gonna scoop it.
Because I think I told y'all the story before. Like, I saw one time where I was sitting in the open house where somebody showed up, and this house was not cheap. This was like an $860,000 house, and somebody showed up without their agent, and I'm like, who's walking around with a potential check like that, just walking out here aimlessly by themselves? So I'm almost like, that's almost like sitting $20,000 on the ground and walking and just saying, you know what, I don't care about that, because you let your buyer walk around, by themselves. There's no way, no how, not in my business. So like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you could just look at stuff like that, you like, I can't believe some people do stuff like that, and it's not my life. My life is if you're qualified, you want to work with me, I'm excited that you want to work with me, and I'm going to make sure that you know that we're going to find you a house or sell your house, and we're going to make that work for you one way or the other.
Right. You're providing a service for them, and you're literally holding their hand through the process. I mean, we are considered salespeople because that's what our license is, a salesperson. Mm-hmm. But really, we're not selling them on the house. We're helping them with the transaction. So, absolutely, we're showing them their options and they're choosing what to move forward with. And we're giving them our professional guidance along the way. And not all agents are created equal, because some have commission breath and will actually like force somebody down through a transaction, which is terrible. And then you have other people that actually like care about what they do and how they provide services. And one of the things that I think Rico and I took heed of, that something that you as a new agent brought in, was like these Google reviews. I mean, you are, what you look like online currently is like a straight rock star, because all your Google reviews are 5-star. And that makes, it just goes to show that you are not just, doing a transaction, but you are literally helping people bring solutions to their problems, which is makes for a much better agent.
I think that I think when it comes to client services, I always think about what would I like, what would I want, and how would I want to be treated. So but I also look at it like, this is like some people don't do this, but 1 time, 2 times in their lifetimes, buy or sell a house, so this is not something that you're going to get somebody who's like a professional. I mean, you have investors obviously, but like the traditional person where you're selling a $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 house, they don't do this often. So you got to kind of like look at it like, how would you want that to be for you? Because it could be such an intimidating process for anyone. So I just try to do my best. I tell them from the straight up, you got me until we close this, and then after that, you got me as a friend and somebody that you can call for life. So that's my goal. My motto for my business is building relationships through real estate, and I treat every single person like they're going to be family for the rest of their life.
Very good, very good. So real estate, it's just not all the grind and going crazy and insane. There's some serendipities and some good stuff that come out of it too. Craig, take a few minutes, some successes that you've experienced through this business, and also some advice to a brand new person looking to get into this business. What should they be doing?
I would start with small activities. You do the small activities, and that will lead to bigger successes. But I think some of the goals and things that I achieved this year, I wasn't planning on being Rookie of the Year. That wasn't something that was on my mind. My mind was on, I need to see how many houses I can sell. So then that way next year I have a goal to, double, triple, whatever. No, just try to figure out where to go from there. Because once again, it goes back to my mindset is on investing and building a strong business. And that's to, scale. It's got to be a scalable business. You can't just continue to do the same numbers every year and think that's going to, move the needle in your life. Because eventually the stagnation leads to you not wanting to do anything. But goals that I had was I took my wife to Niagara Falls last year for our anniversary. Anniversary. That was like something that was, something that on the bucket list of things to do. We already planned. I basically use my income that we have left over from real estate just to like plan vacations. I'm a vacation guy. Like, it's no reason to sit in the house. Like, I don't see a reason to sit in the house if you have the money to sit in the house. You enjoy your life and enjoy the experiences. So we went to Vegas this year already. We plan on going to the Bahamas for a cruise this year, and that's already paid for. Like, which is crazy to say. Like, I don't, which is crazy. So I just look at just looking at successfully helping people get into homes has led to me just enjoying my life a little bit easier, and not really worried about do I need to put something on a credit card and nothing like that. That's been great in life, and yeah, those are the successes.
Awesome. Well, you deserve it.
Yeah, you sure do, brother. Rookie of the Year.
I need to sell some more houses so I can feel like I can plan my 2026 vacations already. I ain't worried about 25.
That's what you care of.
Sure.
Excellent. All right. One more thing. Anything specific you want to share with a young person or a new person jumping into the business?
Yeah, so I mean, what I would say, the best thing that helped me was not only, interviewing brokers, looking at YouTube, understanding what I was getting into when I came into business, looking at the agents in your office and understanding who are the agents that are really, match the things that you're trying to do in life, right? Or trying to help the people that you see that you want to help the best way possible. And, kind of like shadowing them if you can, or sitting down and inviting them to coffee and just picking their brain and trying to understand what it is that they do in their business that you can kind of like emulate in your business and kind of put your own spin on it. Those things that help. I will really say, like, working with you two and having conversations with you, even though we're just sometimes like coking and joking most of the time. We do have moments where we can have conversations and we just be, having, how we can be better for clients. And like, I invite certain agents out for coffee like once a month, every 2 months or so, and just like talk to them and kind of understand where do I want to go. And, I think that's the best thing to do, is to not think that you're in it alone, but make sure that you find the right relationships that you can, foster and build them up and go from there.
I love that answer. Okay, well, we are running out of time. Craig, we want to wish you the best. We see your business increasing year after year, man. You're an inspiration to me as well, because I learned some things from you. I love that you said find someone that's doing what you're doing in so many words, and do that stuff. And we've done that too. We've also found things not to do by certain examples that we've seen.
Right.
But we're so proud of you, man, for sure. Where can these listeners find you? YouTube, Instagram?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at I am Craig Houston, and on the YouTube at Moving in Norfolk. You can find me in there. And we'll be coming right back with you with some brand new content over there.
Perfecto. Got anything else, Court?
No, awesome. Appreciate you coming on board and sharing your experiences with us.
Anytime.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, y'all guys be good. Bye.